Stop scrolling. Because what just surfaced was never supposed to be seen. Right after her breakup with Aaron Pierre, when fans believed Teyana Taylor was finally closing one chapter and starting another, one secret move flipped the entire story upside down. No announcement, no explanation, no warning. Just a quiet, private meeting that instantly sent shockwaves across social media. And the name attached to it? Iman Shumpert. Yes, the ex-husband. The past everyone thought was finished. The relationship the public was told had reached its final page. And now the timing has everyone asking the same uncomfortable question. Why him? Why now? And why in complete secrecy? This wasn't a random encounter. This wasn't a public co-parenting moment. And this definitely wasn't innocent enough to ignore. Because when a breakup is still fresh, when emotions are still raw, and when healing hasn't even started yet, going back to someone from your past is never just coincidence. What makes this even more unsettling is the silence that followed. No denials. No clarifications. No, this is being taken out of context. Just quiet. And in celebrity culture, silence doesn't mean peace. It means something is being protected. So the real question isn't whether Teyana met Iman. That part already happened. The real question is what this meeting actually means and who might have been blindsided because of it. And trust me, this is only the beginning. Before this secret meeting sent the internet into meltdown, Teyana Taylor's personal life was already sitting on a ticking time bomb. Nothing about her recent history was calm, healed, or settled. In fact, every move she made over the past year felt like it was building toward an explosion, and most people didn't realize it until now. Let's rewind. Teyana Taylor has always been more than just a celebrity. She's been framed as a symbol of independence, strength, artistry, and control. From music to fashion to film, she crafted an image of a woman who moves on her own terms and never looks back, especially when it comes to relationships. That's why her separation from Iman Shumpert shook people the first time around. Not because it was messy in public, but because it was quiet. Too quiet. When Teyana and Iman officially split, fans were told it was mutual, mature, and rooted in growth. Co-parenting. Respect. No drama. No bitterness. That narrative stuck, and the world accepted it. Or at least pretended to. But behind the polished statements and carefully chosen words, insiders whispered that the emotional cords were never fully cut. They were just hidden. Fast forward to her highly publicized connection with Aaron Pierre. This relationship was supposed to be the new era. Fresh energy. New beginnings. Red carpet appearances that screamed confidence. Subtle PDA. Strategic silence that made it feel exclusive, protected, and intentional. For a while, it worked. Fans started believing again. Headlines softened. The story shifted from divorce aftermath to rebirth. But cracks started forming. Followers noticed the distance. The lack of consistency. The way appearances stopped as suddenly as they started. And then the breakup. No dramatic announcement. No emotional posts. Just a sudden disappearance of Aaron Pierre from Teyana's public narrative. Again, silence. And silence has become a pattern. Because just when people assumed she was taking time alone, healing, regrouping, moving forward, this secret meeting surfaced, dragging the past violently into the present. Iman Shumpert isn't just an ex. He's history. He's shared trauma, shared children, shared memories, and shared battles that the public never fully saw. Which is why this meeting hit differently. This wasn't two strangers crossing paths. This wasn't an accidental run-in. This was two people who once built a life together, choosing privacy over transparency at a moment when transparency mattered most. And here's where the timing becomes impossible to ignore. Aaron Pierre exits the picture. The breakup is still fresh. Emotions are unresolved. And suddenly, Iman reappears, not on Instagram, not in interviews, but behind closed doors. Insiders claim this meeting wasn't casual. It wasn't brief. And it wasn't strictly about logistics. The location was discreet. No kids present. No cameras invited. Which raises the question fans can't stop asking. If this was truly about co-parenting, why hide it? And if this was about closure, why now? Sources close to the situation suggest that Teyana has been under immense pressure since the breakup with Aaron. Not just emotionally, but publicly. Expectations, scrutiny, endless speculation about her love life. And when everything feels unstable, people don't always move forward. Sometimes they move backward. Back to familiarity. Back to safety. Back to someone who already knows your scars. But familiarity is dangerous when feelings are unresolved. Iman Shumpert, on the other hand, has remained unusually quiet throughout all of this. No cryptic posts. No public reactions. No defensive statements. And that silence has only fueled the tension. Because in celebrity culture, silence doesn't mean indifference. It means strategy. Fans are now re-examining everything. Old interviews, old lyrics, old moments that suddenly feel unfinished. Was the divorce really the end? Or just a pause? Was Aaron Pierre a new chapter? Or a distraction from a story that never truly closed? And now, with this secret meeting exposed, the carefully crafted narratives are collapsing. Because once the past and present collide, there's no controlling the fallout. And this is only the background. Because what happened after that meeting? Who found out, who felt blindsided, and what was allegedly said behind those closed doors, is where the story takes a much darker turn. And trust me, what comes next changes everything. The moment the secret meeting leaked, everything spiraled out of control. Not slowly, not gradually, but all at once. Because this wasn't supposed to be public. According to multiple so-called insiders, Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert went to extreme lengths to keep this meeting hidden. Separate arrivals. No phones visible. A private location far from paparazzi hotspots. And yet, despite all of that, someone saw them. Someone recognized them. And someone talked. That's when the first wave hit. A blurry photo started circulating in private group chats. No clear faces. No dramatic pose. Just two familiar silhouettes sitting close enough to make people uncomfortable. Within minutes, the image jumped platforms. Reddit first, then X, then Instagram stories. By the time blogs picked it up, the damage was already done. Because the caption attached to that photo said everything. This doesn't look like co-parenting. And that's when the narrative exploded. Fans immediately split into two camps. One side insisted it was innocent, parents discussing logistics, schedules, responsibilities. The other side saw something else entirely. Body language, proximity, familiarity that didn't feel cold or distant. Familiarity that felt personal. And here's where it gets worse. An alleged insider claimed this meeting wasn't spontaneous. According to them, this wasn't the first conversation Teyana and Iman had after her breakup with Aaron Pierre. It was just the first one that got seen. That single claim flipped everything. Because now the question wasn't why did they meet? The question became, how long has this been happening? Sources started whispering that communication between Teyana and Iman had intensified weeks before the Aaron Pierre breakup became public. Texts, calls, long conversations that stretched late into the night. Conversations that went far beyond co-parenting. And if that's true, then this meeting wasn't closure. It was continuation. At the same time, people close to Aaron Pierre were allegedly blindsided. Completely. One anonymous source claimed he had no idea Teyana was reconnecting with Iman on this level. He believed the breakup was about timing and space, not about reopening old doors. And that's the first real conflict. Because suddenly, the breakup narrative shifts from mutual separation to emotional overlap. Fans started digging. Old interviews resurfaced where Teyana talked about never fully detaching from someone you built a family with. Lyrics were reposted and reinterpreted. Even past social media captions that once felt harmless now felt loaded. Then came the alleged messages. No screenshots. No hard proof. Just paraphrased leaks that spread like wildfire. One post claimed Teyana told a close friend, "I don't know how to fully let go of someone who knows me better than anyone." Another claimed Iman had been emotionally present during a time when she felt misunderstood elsewhere. Whether real or exaggerated, the effect was the same. The internet decided something was happening. And then, the first twist dropped. A blogger with a history of industry connections claimed that the secret meeting ended badly.
Not romantic.
Not peaceful, but tense, emotional, heated. According to this report, voices were raised. Old wounds resurfaced. Accusations flew. This wasn't a gentle reconnection. It was confrontation. The source claimed unresolved resentment from the divorce came rushing back, trust issues, emotional distance, and things that were never addressed properly when they split. And that's when the tone of the meeting allegedly shifted from calm discussion to emotional chaos, which changes everything. Because now this isn't about getting back together. It's about unfinished business. And unfinished business is dangerous, especially when one relationship has just ended and another never truly healed. As this rumor spread, fans noticed something else. Teyana's social media activity changed. Posts slowed. Captions became shorter. The confident tone softened. Meanwhile, Iman remained completely silent. No denials. No damage control. Nothing. And silence at this stage only made things louder. Then came the moment that pushed this from speculation into full-blown scandal. A second insider claimed Aaron Pierre found out about the meeting after it happened, not before. Through mutual connections. Not from Teyana herself. And according to this source, that discovery didn't sit well at all. Because if true, it means the breakup wasn't just painful, it was complicated by secrecy. And secrecy breeds betrayal. Fans immediately reframed the timeline. Was Aaron Pierre already emotionally checked out because he sensed something shifting? Or did the shift happen because the relationship was already ending? No one knew, but everyone had an opinion. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. Some accused Teyana of never fully moving on. Others accused the media of forcing drama where there was none. And a third group started questioning Aaron Pierre's silence, wondering what he knew that the public didn't. But here's the real twist, the one that made this story darker. Another leak suggested that the meeting wasn't meant to stay private forever. According to this claim, Teyana and Iman were allegedly discussing how to manage public perception if their communication became visible again. Not announcing anything, not confirming anything, just preparing. And that single detail changed the tone entirely. Because planning perception means anticipating exposure, which means someone expected this to come out. And now the biggest question isn't about love or reconciliation. It's about intent. Was this meeting emotional support? Was it confrontation? Was it strategy? Or was it all three at once? As the rumors stacked higher and the silence grew heavier, one thing became impossible to deny. This situation was far more complex than a simple secret meeting. The past had collided with the present. Multiple narratives were overlapping. And someone was about to lose control of the story. Because when too many people know fragments of the truth doesn't stay contained. It leaks. And according to whispers spreading behind the scenes, another detail from that meeting is about to surface. One that doesn't just complicate the situation, it completely rewrites it. And once that detail becomes public, nothing about Teyana Taylor's breakup, her past marriage, or her future will look the same again. Because this was only the first twist. Just when everyone thought the situation couldn't get messier, it exploded. Because the secret meeting was no longer just a rumor whispered in corners of the internet. It became a full-blown wildfire. Late one night, while most people were distracted, a cryptic post appeared on X from an account known for dropping industry-adjacent leaks. No names. No direct accusations. Just one chilling sentence. The meeting wasn't about the past. It was about fixing a mistake that already happened. That single line sent shockwaves everywhere. Fixing a mistake? Suddenly, the narrative shifted again. Fans started asking the uncomfortable question no one wanted to say out loud. What mistake? Within hours, screenshots of the post flooded Instagram stories. Reaction videos popped up on YouTube. TikTok creators dissected every possible meaning frame by frame. And just like that, Speculation turned darker and more dangerous. Then came the so-called shocking reveal. Another alleged insider stepped forward, claiming the meeting between Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert wasn't their first emotional reconnection. It was the aftermath of something that had already crossed a line weeks earlier. According to this source, there was an emotional incident that happened before the Pierre breakup became public. Not physical, not confirmed, but deeply emotional. The kind of moment that changes how two people see each other forever. And if that's true, then the breakup timeline is a lie. This insider claimed that Teyana was already emotionally unraveling long before the public announcement, that she felt torn between the safety of the past and the uncertainty of the future, that Pierre noticed the distance, the distractions, the unexplained tension, but never imagined the reason. And that's when things get chilling, because the source alleged that the secret meeting was about damage control, not reunion. About setting boundaries after something went too far emotionally, about deciding whether to bury it or face it. That reveal changed everything. Now, this wasn't a simple post-breakup conversation. It was a reckoning. Social media went feral. One viral thread claimed, "You don't need to cheat physically to betray someone emotionally." Another wrote, "If your heart is somewhere else, the relationship is already over." And then celebrities started reacting. Not directly, not openly, but indirectly. Subtle likes, cryptic captions, mysterious unfollows. One R&B artist posted, "Unhealed bonds will sabotage new beginnings every time." Fans immediately connected the dots. A reality star tweeted, "Exes never leave when you leave the door unlocked." That tweet alone gained over 200K likes in hours. A coincidence? The internet didn't think so. Then the blogs escalated it further. A major gossip outlet claimed they received audio snippets from someone close to the situation. Not released, not verified,
but teased.
And the description alone was enough to ignite panic. According to the outlet, the audio allegedly includes raised voices, emotional confrontation, and one sentence that keeps being repeated behind the scenes. "You can't keep showing up when I'm trying to move on." That line alone destroyed any remaining illusion of innocence, because it suggests repeated contact, repeated emotional access, repeated boundaries being crossed. And now Pierre's silence became deafening. People noticed he stopped liking Teyana's posts weeks before the breakup announcement. Interviews he did around that time suddenly felt different. His tone, his pauses, his choice of words when talking about trust and timing. Fans began rewriting history in real time. This explains everything. He knew something was off. She was already halfway gone. But just when the narrative seemed locked in, another shocking detail surfaced. A second source claimed someone else was present nearby during the secret meeting. Not at the table. Not directly involved, but close enough to witness the emotional intensity. And according to that person, this wasn't calm discussion. It was raw. It was painful. It was messy. The source alleged that Teyana left the meeting visibly shaken.
Sunglasses on.
Hood up, avoiding eye contact. Meanwhile, Iman stayed behind, sitting alone, staring at his phone for a long time. That image alone fueled thousands of theories. Regret? Guilt? Realization? And then came the final escalation. A private message allegedly sent by someone in Pierre's circle leaked. Not screenshots, just text being reposted, claiming he wasn't competing with another man. He was competing with a history that never ended. That line hit like a bomb. Because history doesn't need intention to resurface. It just needs opportunity. Now fans weren't just debating loyalty, they were debating inevitability. Was this always going to happen? Was the breakup unavoidable? Was Pierre collateral damage in a story that started years ago? As the internet spiraled, Teyana finally posted and made everything worse. Not a statement, not a denial, just a single Instagram story. A black screen with white text that read, "Healing isn't linear, and neither is letting go." That was it. No names, no context, no explanation. And yet, it confirmed everything, while explaining nothing. Because if you're letting go, why are you still meeting? If you're healing, why does it hurt this much? And if this is truly over, why does it feel like something bigger is just beginning? According to whispers growing louder by the hour, there's one more piece of information from that meeting that hasn't leaked yet. Something so sensitive that even insiders are hesitant to share it publicly. Something that doesn't just complicate the narrative, it changes who the victim really is. And once that detail comes out, the public reaction won't just be divided. It will be explosive. Because this story isn't about a breakup anymore. It's about emotional truth, buried history, and a past that refuses to stay silent. And the next reveal? It might be the one no one is ready for. By the time the sun came up the next morning, this was no longer just a rumor. It was a cultural moment. The internet didn't wake up. It erupted. Every platform turned into a battleground, and everyone had an opinion. Twitter Spaces filled up within minutes. TikTok timelines refreshed faster than anyone could scroll. Instagram comment sections became war zones. And at the center of it all stood one burning question. Was this betrayal, or was this destiny repeating itself? Fans split instantly into two violent camps. On one side, people rushed to defend Teyana with raw emotion. She's human. You don't erase years of love overnight. Stop blaming women for unfinished emotions. These supporters painted her as a woman trapped between healing and history, arguing that emotional complexity doesn't equal wrongdoing. They dissected her past interviews, pulling clips where she spoke about growth, boundaries, and inner battles, reframing the secret meeting as closure, not chaos. But the other side? They came swinging. Emotional cheating is still cheating. Timing never lies. If it was innocent, it wouldn't be secret. This group accused her of rewriting the narrative, dragging Pierre into a storm he never saw coming. Commenters flooded his recent posts with sympathy messages, calling him collateral damage and the quiet victim in a loud story. And then the industry weighed in. Not directly, but loudly enough. A well-known music producer tweeted, "Some connections never die. They just wait for weakness." The post went viral within an hour. Fans immediately attached it to the situation. Screenshots spread like wildfire. A popular actress posted a cryptic Instagram caption, "Closure doesn't require secrecy." No tags. No names. But the timing? Devastating. Even fashion insiders joined the noise. One stylist posted, "Energy doesn't lie. If you feel pulled backward, it's because something was never released." That single story sparked hundreds of reaction videos. The blogs poured gasoline on the fire. Headlines screamed speculation. Was the breakup already doomed? Did the past sabotage the future? Is emotional loyalty being redefined? Every outlet framed it differently, but all roads led back to that meeting. Then came the most brutal part. Fan investigations. People started tracking timelines, liking patterns, unfollows, subtle caption changes. Screenshots circulated showing Pierre allegedly removing a photo archive around the same time insiders claim emotional boundaries were crossed. Fans compared dates, zoomed into reflections, and analyzed body language like it was a courtroom trial. And suddenly, the narrative hardened. This wasn't just gossip anymore. It was a public verdict forming in real time. Meanwhile, industry's silence became its own statement. No joint clarification. No team-issued press release. No denial. PR experts online began breaking down what that meant, and their conclusions were unsettling. When there's no denial, one expert said in a viral clip, it usually means negotiations are happening behind the scenes, or everyone's waiting for the next shoe to drop. And that sentence alone made people nervous. Because if this was already bad, what were they waiting for? Then a major talk show host casually referenced unfinished celebrity business during a monologue, smiling as the audience gasped. No names mentioned, but everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. The laughter felt uncomfortable. The silence afterward felt louder. Even sports media chimed in when an analyst joked on air, "Some rebounds aren't shots, they're relationships." The clip exploded online within minutes. But the most intense reaction came from one unexpected place. women's spaces online. Debates turned philosophical. Is emotional reconnection betrayal? Can closure coexist with new love? Does privacy automatically imply guilt? Threads ran thousands of comments deep. Friendships were debated. Boundaries were redefined. People projected their own scars onto the situation, making the story feel personal, dangerously personal. And through it all, Teyana stayed silent. No follow-up posts. No explanations. No corrections. That silence wasn't calming. It was suffocating. Because in celebrity culture, silence doesn't end a story. It feeds it. And as the public argued, defended, attacked, and theorized, one truth became impossible to ignore. This situation had officially escaped anyone's control. Not the fans. Not the media. Not even the people involved. And now, insiders are hinting that the industry reaction isn't just emotional, it's strategic. That brands are watching. That teams are preparing. That someone may be about to speak, not to defend, but to protect themselves. Because according to whispers gaining momentum, there's a private detail from that meeting that could flip public sympathy overnight. And when that detail surfaces, the conversation won't be about love or closure anymore. It will be about responsibility. And not everyone will survive that shift. Just when the narrative felt locked, when fans thought they finally understood who was hurt, who was wrong, and who was just caught in the crossfire, the story cracked open one last time. Because the final twist wasn't emotional. It was intentional. Late into the night, as speculation peaked, a quiet but calculated leak hit a private group chat used by entertainment insiders. No screenshots went public. No audio dropped. Just a carefully worded summary that spread from account to account like a warning siren. According to multiple sources echoing the same claim, the secret meeting wasn't only about closure, it was about a decision that had already been made. Not reconciliation. Not forgiveness.
A choice.
Insiders allege that during that private meeting, one of them, and sources refused to say who, brought up the possibility of changing the future, not revisiting the past. A conversation so heavy, so consequential, that both parties reportedly realized the moment could never be unseen. And that's when everything reframed. Because if this meeting involved future planning, even hypothetically, then the emotional line wasn't just crossed. It was redrawn. Suddenly, the leaked phrase from earlier made horrifying sense. Fixing a mistake that already happened. What if the mistake wasn't the meeting? What if the mistake was believing the past was truly over? Another insider added fuel to the fire by claiming that immediately after the meeting, someone reached out to Aaron Pierre, not to explain, not to apologize, but to prepare him. Prepare him for what? That part remains unclear. But fans noticed something chilling. Within hours of that alleged contact, Aaron posted a single story, now deleted, featuring a dimly lit room and one caption. Some truths don't need volume to be devastating. That wasn't random. That was aftermath. And then came the most dangerous revelation of all. A source close to the situation claimed that the reason Teyana has stayed silent isn't confusion or avoidance. It's containment. That speaking now could confirm speculation she isn't ready to own publicly. That one wrong sentence could turn emotional complexity into a full-blown scandal. Because the truth, according to whispers, doesn't favor one side. It implicates everyone. Iman Shumpert's silence? Not indifference. Teyana's cryptic posts? Not vague healing. Aaron's distance? Not just heartbreak. They're all reacting to a reality that hasn't been revealed yet. And here's the part that sent chills through even veteran industry watchers. Multiple insiders claim there's a second meeting being discussed. Not confirmed. Not scheduled. But talked about. And if it happens, it won't be secret. It will be controlled. Which raises the terrifying question. Why prepare the public unless something irreversible is coming? Fans are now bracing for impact. Some believe a statement is coming. Others think a hard launch of truth is imminent. And a few believe the silence means something bigger, something legal, emotional, or reputational is being negotiated behind closed doors. Because if this was just closure, there wouldn't be this much strategy. And if this was just co-parenting, there wouldn't be this much fallout. One last insider message circulated quietly before accounts went dark. The past didn't return by accident. Someone opened the door. And once a door like that opens, it doesn't close gently. It slams. It shatters. It exposes everything behind it. So now the question isn't whether the story is over. It's who will speak first and who will be forced to respond. Because when the next update drops, it won't add clarity. It will change the villain. And if you think the internet is divided now, wait until that truth comes out. Now it's your turn. Because the story is far from over. Was that secret meeting closure, or was it the beginning of something dangerous? Did the past destroy the future, or was the future never real to begin with? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Pick a side. Was Aaron Pierre betrayed, or was this outcome inevitable? And most importantly, should exes ever meet in secret? If you want the next update the moment it drops, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because insiders are hinting that someone is about to break their silence. And when they do, everything changes.